Alright, I am continuing from where I left off last time, so let's do this. He wouldn't accept anything else, Shining Armor asked. He'll take a bride and nothing but, Twilight replied solemnly. They had announced Discord's request to Canterlot that morning. So far, no pony was willing to accept such a fate. What do we do now? Applejack wondered. Twilight sighed. We made a promise not to use the elements against him, and if we break it, he's free to do whatever he likes. Unless we blast him before he does anything, Rainbow suggested. He's the only one who knows where the princesses are. If you turn him to stone, we may never get them back. Why haven't they tried contacting us? Scootaloo inquired. I mean, Celestia sends you messages through Spike, and Luna can enter dreams. Neither of them have their horns, which means realization hit her. They can't raise the sun or moon. Even without Discord's chaos, order in Equestria will not stand without them. Without the sun, none of the crops will grow, and who knows how long the moon and stars will stay out with Luna's I hate my life. Without Luna's magic, we could be facing eternal darkness. Yes. Finally, I told Luna if she was patient, she would get what she wanted. I'm just kidding. Although, oh my god, what if Luna wanted this to happen? What if she's been in cahoots with Discord, and she was like, oh, you're gonna do this and this, and you're gonna kidnap me and my sister and Cadence, and it's just all this this big plan just for her to get eternal darkness or whatever, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh. Conspiracy. What about you? Sweetie Belle asked. Aren't you a princess now? I can't raise the sun. Do you know how powerful you have to be to accomplish that? I just... Tears streamed down her cheeks. Shining Armor put an assuring hoof on her. Don't worry, we'll get them back. We'll get them all back. We just need to solve this dilemma. He looked up towards the others. I know nobody wants to spend eternity with that monster, but we gotta think. I should go. Everybody stared at Twilight. This all happened while Equestria was under my rule. I should put the well-being of my subjects before myself. I won't allow it, her brother insisted, but Cadence would not stand for it. I want her back as much as you, but I don't want to lose my little sister in the process. For the sake of my friends, Rarity declared, I believe I should go. Yeah, if I were Discord, I'd be like, bitch, no. No, Sweetie Belle cried, hanging onto her leg. I need you, big sister, and what'll Mom and Dad say? They're still alive? I thought they were dead. We literally saw them one episode, and we never see them again. And they're never referenced, ever. Applejack took off her hat. I should go. Don't even think about it, Applebloom commanded. We need you at Sweet Apple Acres. The orphans need you too. Me, then? Rainbow questioned. A desperate hug from Scootaloo dismissed the idea. What about me? Pinkie asked seriously, which was out of character for her. I mean, I already like his chocolate milk rain. That may be the case, Pinkie, Rainbow said, but come on, you married? As the others argued, Fluttershy dealt with an eternal argument of her own. She did not dare say her thoughts, knowing her friends would just dismiss them. They all had reasons for staying behind. Responsibilities, family. What did she have? Oh, no, Fluttershy, no. I really hate it when characters think like that, when they think that they have, no purpose and that they're not, important. Gosh. There were her animals and friends, but what happiness would she bring to them if they were to live in darkness for the rest of their lives? What happiness would she bring them if she left? Every pony quieted down as Applejack leapt onto the chart table. Look, it's been a long night for all of us. I say we get some sleep and see what can be done tomorrow. And they all agreed and returned to their rooms. It was happening again. It was dark. She was in his arms, his lying fingers running through her mane. Even though she knew this was a dream, it sent chills up her spine. Why won't you go away? She squeaked. Her capitals. I need to go back to school. Summer just makes people stupid. Unless you're out of college, then you don't really give a shit. Her captor's cackle echoed in the darkness. My dear, don't you understand? I'm in your mind because you keep me here. Deep. Whoa. The man that kills me and stabs me in my dreams. I'm here because you keep me here. I got some serious problems. I should probably get that checked out. Well, I don't want you here. Go away. He chuckled, and soon his face was inches away from hers. What are you waiting for, my dear? You know what you have to do. You know I favor you over the others, so do it. No, she tried to struggle out of his grasp. I don't. He whispered into her ear, if you don't do it, who will? Fluttershy woke with a start. She put her hoof to her head and whimpered. I can't do it, she thought. I just can't. What will the others think? She could not go back to sleep, so she went down to the kitchen to get a snack. She screamed when she bumped into someone, causing them to fall and drop a tray of food. What in tarnation? Fluttershy? The Pegasus squinted at the pony on the floor and gasped. Oh, Applejack, I'm so sorry. You startled me. Everything startles you. Be good. The southern pony rubbed her head as she got up. It's okay. I'm guessing you couldn't sleep either, huh? She shook her head. Nightmare again? She nodded. It was different this time. He spoke to me. He was... Calm down. Tell you what, after I clean this up, I'll make both some apples and peanut butter. Sound good? Fluttershy sniffed and nodded with a smile. As they ate, she told Applejack about her dream. Her friend listened intently. Your relentless threat on the princess is dead to you. Don't worry, we'll figure something out. The Pegasus looked down at her hooves. Applejack, can I tell you a secret? The cowgirl sighed. Fluttershy, you know how bad I am at keeping secrets. With me being the element of honesty and all, I'm a terrible liar. You don't have to lie, just don't mention it to any pony. Okay, but why me? Well, it's a very shocking secret. Twilight would be against it. Rarity would overreact. Rainbow Dash would tell me it's a bad idea. And Pinkie Pie, well, alright, I get it. So what's the secret? First, you've got to promise not to tell any pony and to not freak out. I promise. Pinkie promise? She sighed. Cross my heart and hope to fly. Stick a cupcake in my eye. Fluttershy glanced around and then gestured for her to come closer. I'm thinking of the rest was inaudible. Come again? This time was quieter. Didn't hear ya. I'm thinking of going with Discord, she shouted. Applejack choked on her apple. What? You said you wouldn't freak out. I had no idea you were. Then she stopped and took a breath. You're right. I promised I wouldn't, but still. How could you even consider going with that monster? If I don't go, who will? Fluttershy, do you hear yourself? We need Princess Celestia and Luna to bring day and night. Cadence is with child. Discord won't let them go unless some pony takes their place. I think that pony should be me. No, you shouldn't. You can't. I'd rather go instead of you. But you have your family to take care of, and the orphans, they look up to you. Twilight has her crown and shining armor. Rarity has her shop and Sweetie Belle. Rainbow Dash is a Wonderbolt, and Pinkie Pie has her job at Sugar Cube Corner, and to make every pony smile. I have no pony. No purpose. What are you talking about? Of course you have a purpose. The animals back in Ponyville depend on you. Somebody else can take care of them. And don't think you haven't any pony. Oh wait, and don't think you haven't any pony. That sentence doesn't make any sense. She put a hoof around her. You've got a lot of friends who would be heartbroken if you left. But suppose nobody agrees to marry Discord. Would all the ponies and animals be better off then? Applejack paused. Well, what if my dreams are a sign? What if this is my fate? Fluttershy, your fate is to not be unhappy for the rest of your life tied to that creature. Why not? She snapped. Can't you see that no matter what I'll choose, I'll always be unhappy? You don't really believe that, do you? The Pegasus buried her face in her hooves. I don't know. I just don't know. Applejack patted her on the back. I think we should talk to Twilight. Her head shot up. No, you Pinky promised. But she'll know what to do. No, she'll just say it's a bad idea. Okay, but hear me out. I don't like this decision you're making, but we should at least ask some pony for advice. Some pony with unbiased judgment. Who? Applejack thought for a moment and then lit up. Sakura. She always has good advice. Maybe she can help. You mean, Fluttershy gulped, I'll have to go to the Evergreen Forest? Don't worry, I'll come with you. Look, I don't know if it'll do us any good, but it's worth a shot. The Pegasus looked up at her friend and nodded. I like what she wrote here in the footnote section. Next chapter, Sakura. She likes Sakura. She said here that she really likes writing for her. She wrote her pretty good. Like she said, Sakura is fun to write because of her rhyming. Oh, if any of you have read Bride of the Limdorm King, just know that it is not entirely based on that. Part of this was also inspired by an episode of my favorite TV show, Once Upon a Time. I like that show. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it, and my family watches it, and I'll, peek and stuff. So, I'm like, oh, this show seems pretty interesting, but I don't really have time to watch TV, so I hope we don't run into any Timberwolves. Fluttershy quivered as she and her friend trudged through the Everfree Forest. Don't worry, Applejack assured her. If we come across those critters, I'll take care of them. They approached the zebra's tree and knocked on the door. Who is coming to say hi? Sakura asked as she opened the door. Why, it's dear Applejack and Fluttershy. Want to come in with me and have some tea? She poured them both a cup of tea, which eased their nerves a bit. It's wonderful to see your face. Now what brings you here to my place? Fluttershy was too nervous to speak, so Applejack explained for her. As you may have noticed, Discord's back. The zebra narrowed her eyes and stomped her hoof on the table. I am fully aware that creature's in town when I came to find my hut upside down. The southern pony glanced around at the mess of the broken bottles and turned over furniture. Yeah, I can see that. I'm sure you've heard of his demands. Sakura nodded. News in Equestria travels fast. That it just so happened to have passed my ear that Discord has said he would like a mare to wed? That is correct. And if he doesn't get a bride by tomorrow, he'll hurt the princess, Fluttershy added, fiddling with their cup, and Well, Applejack finished. Fluttershy is thinking of being that mare. Sakura looked at the Pegasus with wide eyes. Is that so? You wish to go? Yes, she muttered. No, maybe, I don't know. I keep urging her not to, Applejack said, but she thinks she's the only one who can do it. That's why I brought her here, Sakura, so you can talk some sense into her. Perhaps I can lift your spirits up, Sakura said, holding out her hoof, but first I will need your teacup. Fluttershy handed her empty cup, and the zebra studied the tea leaves carefully. For such a long time, I see, you have been most unhappy. The Pegasus hung her head. You are haunted by your fear, the very creature that brings you here. You could tell all that from her teacup? Applejack marveled. But look! Applejack showed the cup to Fluttershy and pointed to the picture of the sun that was made by the leaves. In your fortune, I also see great happiness. And this is if you go with the Draconequus. What? The southern pony grabbed the teacup. How could she possibly be happy with Discord? He may not be an angel from above, but perhaps all Discord needs is some love. Love the varmint? Now I know you're making this up. You mean, Fluttershy stammered, he just wants some pony to love him? Sakura shrugged. I could be mistaken, but I'm sure if this path were taken, no harm will be brought upon you. Yet it could be that Discord is unhappy too. I hadn't thought about that. Applejack slammed her hoof, because there's no way in the wide world of Equestria that a creature like him could ever... Do you not remember what you thought of me, Zakira? Wow, Sakura interrupted, when you came crashing through my tree. Were not your judgments of me wrong, yours and that of the massive throng? That sounds really, really sexual. Just saying. That was different. We didn't know you then, but Discord, he's terrible. Do you know what he did to us? What he did to Fluttershy? What he's going to do to the princesses? Sakura waved her words away and smiled at Fluttershy. The key to happiness is to show kindness. The key to happiness is to have a lot of money. Again, my opinion, but let's face it, we all know that's true, because money makes the world go around. The Pegasus looked at the zebra's assuring face and grinned slightly. Now, Applejack, so shall we see what is in your tea? She peered over at her cup. I'll pass, thank you, the southern pony said. Really? You do not want help alike? Your conflicting emotions for Spike? How did you... Applejack blushed. I told you coming here was a waste of time. Come on, Fluttershy. As the Pegasus followed her friend out the door, she turned back to the zebra. Tell me, Sakura, is what you said about Discord true? Perhaps, perhaps not, she replied coolly, but perhaps it's worth a shot. Fluttershy nodded in thanks and stepped outside. The two friends were quiet on their stroll back. Okay, we're good. We're on the stroll back until Fluttershy recognized a certain part of the wood. Abruptly, she flew down a path, and Applejack raced after her. Fluttershy, what are you? Then they stopped at a gorge, a rickety rope bridge hanging in front of them. On the other side was a dark floating castle. Discord had obviously fixed up the ruins and made himself at home. Fluttershy stared at it in wonder. She made this decision. This was where she would spend the rest of her days. We should get out of here, Applejack whispered. Her friend nodded and followed her back. Fluttershy, I know what you're thinking, but you can't do it. You don't suppose Sakura was lying? Fluttershy asked. I don't know why I read that so weird. I'm not calling Sakura a liar. It's Discord I don't trust. What if she's right? What if Discord just wants some pony to love? Why else would he ask for a bride? All those years, I bet he's never even had a friend. Well, he should have thought about that before he took over Equestria and messed up every pony's lives. Applejack's pony has to go with him. What choice do I have? There are plenty of ponies in Equestria. It doesn't have to be you, but how many do you think would be willing to go? Well, this is my choice, Applejack. I can take care of myself. I know you can, Sugar Cube. I've seen you face up to a manticore and a full-grown dragon, but Discord... She sighed. Look, I just don't want you to get hurt. And I know the others don't want to lose you to that. If I don't go, the sun may never rise again, and Cadence's baby will never be born. Applejack, it's either me or all of Equestria. I'm gonna pause the video real quick and get some water. Okay. I already read that. Applejack stared up at her friend with blurry eyes and hung her head. If this is your decision, Sugar Cube, I'm not gonna stop you. But you do realize I'll have to tell the others what you did, right? Sorry. No, they have a right to know. Just promise me this. If nobody else comes forth by tomorrow, then you may do what you wish. Fluttershy embraced her friend. I knew you'd understand, Applejack. When she pulled away, she smiled smugly. So, what's this about you and Spike? Applejack turned red. It's nothing really. It's a school pony crush, nothing more. When did this happen? When he saved me from those Timberwolves last year? But it's been going on and off. It's kind of embarrassing. You can't tell any pony or any dragon, you hear? Fluttershy giggled. Cross my heart and hope to fly. Stick a cupcake in my eye. Was Sakura of any help? Twilight asked the two once they had returned in Canterlot. Applejack hesitated, but they told her they were visiting Sakura, but they had not given the details. She, gave some advice. Has any pony come forth yet? The alicorn shook her head. No, I've tried to find the princesses using divination spells, but I've had no luck so far. Fluttershy said nothing and headed towards her room. Applejack caught up with her before she could close the door. Fluttershy, she called, whatever you choose, I just want you to know. She turned to her. Yes? You just might be the bravest pony I've ever known. Fluttershy smiled, knowing that it was always the truth with her. That really means a lot to me, Applejack. That night, she dreamt of Discord and the words that Sakura had spoken. He may not be an angel from above, but perhaps all Discord needs is some love. The words soothed her. The more she thought about it, the less worried she was. She was still terrified, though, not as much as before. She liked to think it was all true. What if Discord was just a creature that needed to be tamed, like the manticore and the dragon? If Zecora had been right, some pony needed to go. So when Fluttershy awoke that morning, she knew exactly what she needed to do. We're good. Okay. Fluttershy gazed out her window. The sun hadn't risen in 3 days, and the stars and the moon were starting to fade. It would be nothing but darkness, and the deadline was near. A cry from Rainbow Dash interrupted her thoughts. Twilight, Twilight! You've got to come quickly! What is it? The princess demanded. It's Fluttershy. She's gone! Twilight didn't waste a second and followed the Pegasus to Fluttershy's room. Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack surrounded the empty bed. The dragon held a note in his claws. The Alicorn removed it with her magic and read it aloud. Dear friends, I'm very sorry, but this is the only way. Do not come after me. This was my choice. Applejack will explain. Please take care of my animals, especially Angel. Tell them I'm sorry. Love, Fluttershy. Every pony turned suspiciously towards Applejack. Do you know anything about this? Twilight asked. The cowgirl stomped her hoof. She did it! She gone and did it! I tried to talk her out of it, I really did. She made me pinky promise not to tell you all before she did it. Calm down, Applejack. What happened? She took a deep breath and looked up at them with tears in her eyes. Fluttershy stood at the cave entrance. A part of her was telling her to turn back, but another was telling her to go in. She had to do this for her friends, for the princesses, for Equestria. She inhaled deeply and walked in. It was darkness, but that's not what frightened her. She had the feeling he was going to jump out at any moment. Stop it, Fluttershy, she told herself. You need to be brave. Hello? She called out weakly. Anyone home? Well, well, well. She yelped in surprise and spun around to find that Draconic was standing over her. If it isn't the element of kindness herself, how nice of you to drop in. Suddenly, the ground beneath her disappeared and Fluttershy screamed as she fell through a hole. She landed with a thud and looked around, found that she had landed in the same spot that she had fallen. How did Discord laugh maniacally? Oh, that was priceless. He wiped away a tear. So what brings you here, my dear? Come to negotiate some more? Fluttershy struggled to stand and her knees were shaking. Well, I've come to negotiate something. Strange that Twilight would send you to try to reason with me, while you could tell your precious princess that I will take a bride, and that's final. And a bride you shall have. Discord stared at her, shocked at her sudden outburst. Is that so? Well, where's the lucky mare? Her teeth started chattering. Right here. He blinked. Say again? Fluttershy closed her eyes and straightened up. I will be your bride. For a long while there was silence, then she opened her eyes to see his face full of confusion, then he erupted into a roar of laughter. Oh, I get it. This is a joke, right? Alright, who put you up to this? Twilight? Maybe that pinkster Pinkie? She did not respond. Rainbow Dash? They don't even know I'm here. Well, they should know by now. I left them a note. Why would you leave them His laughter faded as he studied the pony's face. You're serious about this? She nodded solemnly. You? Fuck. He would have never expected her, the Pegasus afraid of her own shadow, to accept his offer. Actually, he was beginning to think no pony would come forth at all. Yes. And no pony put you up to this? She shook her head. This was my decision, but... She backed away nervously. If you'd rather have some pony else... Now, hold on. She jumped as he appeared behind her. I didn't say I wasn't interested. He circled her, studying her carefully from every angle. Oh my god. Fluttershy shut her eyes and stood still, her heart racing. She flinched as he sniffed her mane, but tried not to react. Discord had to admit, for a pony, she wasn't that bad to look at. Her silky pink mane was well groomed and smelled of roses. Her big teal eyes, though closed now, were almost adorable, and her voice was as sweet as honey. This must have been a trick of some sort. There was no way this pony could have come out of her own free will. But he knew she wasn't a trickster. Besides, when was he going to get another chance like this? You'll do, he said with a difference. But are you certain this is what you want, my dear? Remember, if you agree to this, there is no going back. Fluttershy looked up at him boldly. If I were to go with you, you will keep your promise and let the princess go? My dear, he said with a bow, you have my word, and my friends will never hear from me again. She gulped. Nor me. He stooped down to her, his face just inches from hers. Think of it this way. You could either spend eternity living comfortably at my estate, cater to your every need, or you could spend the rest of your short life in a world of darkness. Cater to my every need? If we are to be married, what's mine is yours. If it is in my power, I shall give you whatever you desire. Call it incentive. She could not tell if he was serious. Being offered whatever she desired did sound tempting, but why would he do that for her? Perhaps Discord was right. Maybe he was desperate for a companion. Seeing as he was getting to her, he placed his hands on her shoulders. So what will it be, my dear? It didn't matter. Equestria needed the princess's return. She breathed in. I'll marry you. Excellent! He leaped excitedly into the air. Now, where are the princesses? Instead of answering, he smirked. Why don't we make it official? He snapped his fingers and a box materialized in his paw. He opened it to reveal the sparkling diamond ring. Oh dear, Fluttershy muttered. He chuckled. I'll ask again. Will you marry me, my dear Fluttershy? Fluttershy, don't! The Pegasus turned to see Twilight racing towards them, the others running behind. You keep away from her, you creep, cried Rainbow, her face filled with bloodlust. Discord stopped them with all his magic. Do you mind? I'm in the middle of a proposal here. Put them down, Fluttershy begged. Please, just let me say goodbye to them. He rolled his eyes and released them from his spell. Fluttershy rushed to Twilight's side. I told you not to come after me. We couldn't let you go with him, the Alicorn bellowed, pointing accusingly at the Draconequus. You don't understand. I have to do this. No, you don't. There has to be another way. If I don't do this, Equestria is doomed for all eternity, and Cadence will never have her baby. But do you have any idea what this monster might do to you? Rainbow shouted. No pony chooses my fate but me. Fluttershy, Rarity pleaded, you can't possibly marry this beast. Discord dramatically put a hand to his heart, pretending to look offended. I'm sorry, but this is my decision. But Fluttershy, Pinkie sniffed, we'll never see you again. She looked at her friend sadly. I know. We'll find another way to get the princesses back, Twilight insisted. I'll even go in your place. She's right. Sorry. Applejack interrupted. I was about to say Fluttershy interrupted. They all turned to her in shock. Fluttershy is the only person in control of her destiny. If her decision is to save Equestria, we should respect that decision. She walked up to her friend. You take care of yourself, you hear? Fluttershy nodded and embraced the earth pony. Make sure my animals get everything they need. Of course, Sugar Cube. Fluttershy, Rainbow started to say as she flew down to her. You can't. You won't. She hugged her childhood friend. You stood up for me so many times. Now I can return the favor. She hovered over to Rarity. You can keep my clothes if you like. The unicorn was astonished. Darling, you can't expect me to... She stopped as she too received a hug. Don't be silly. I'll donate them. They're not my size anyway. Fluttershy then turned to the pink earth pony. Pinkie Pie let out a wail and flung her hooves around her neck. Don't forget us, okay? I mean, even if you'll never see us again, don't forget our names. I mean, it's easy to forget one's name after not seeing them for a while, and I won't forget you, Pinkie. Oh, wow. To me, that just sounds savage. Oh, I won't forget you, Pinkie. Wow. I don't know. I don't know if that sounds savage to you guys, but to me it does. She sniffed and hugged her tighter. I know. Once Pinkie had loosened her grip, Fluttershy turned to Spike. Before she could say anything, he wrapped his arms around her legs with a whine. She then looked up at Twilight, who was on the verge of tears. I'll be fine, she assured her. I promise. How could you possibly keep that promise? The Alicorn choked. You know how good I am with creatures. The rest she said in a whisper. I think I can tame it. But for Cadence. She nodded and embraced her. Discord was about ready to gag. Hello? He called, waving the ring box, waiting for an answer here. Fluttershy pulled away from her friends and courageously faced the Draconequus. She stuck out her hoof and uttered, yes. Discord smiled in triumph as he zapped the box away. The ring then appeared on a chain around Fluttershy's neck. The Draconequus cackled. as he scooped his bride to be in his arms. The ponies watched in horror. If you hurt a hair... Yawn! Ew! Why? I was doing that so good! If you hurt a hair on her head, Rainbow warned, I assure you she won't be harmed, so long as you don't try and take her back. Now if you excuse us, we have a wedding to plan. With a final triumphant laugh, Discord vanished with Fluttershy, and in their place the three princesses appeared, their horns restored to their heads. What's happened? Luna demanded. Where's Discord? Ponies burst into tears. Applejack was the only one with the strength to speak. He's taken a bride. Their eyes widened. Who? Celestia asked, and receiving no response, she beseeched her student. Twilight, who did he take? The purple alicorn buried her face in her hooves, knowing her friend was gone because of her failure as a princess. I'm sorry, Fluttershy. I'm so sorry. Okay, and now we're on to chapter 7. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video here because I am really tired and I have to get up early in the morning for a church event. So yeah, this is probably gonna be posted the day after. So yeah, it's gonna be posted on the 19th instead of today, like I said it would, which technically is yesterday, and you guys know what I mean. So I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see all of you guys later.